In this tutorial, we're going to cover how to email estimates. And you can basically do that by clicking a button. And it's going to save you a lot more time than emailing them individually the way we used to have to do it. And the first thing you need to do, or you need to take care of a couple things first, is you need to go under Administration and then go to the Manage Users and then pull up the person that you want to add the email information to. And if you don't have rights to the administration button, just have the admin at your company do this for you. So you want to make sure first that your correct email address is entered that you'll be sending your email from. And then you'll have this information here. This is an SMTP server, a port, and whether or not you use SSL. Now, you get this information by going to your email provider. You can either call them up or look them up online. A lot of this is online. If you use any of the major email providers, and you'll be able to get the information you need there. So to give you an example, we'll pull up some different emails. Now here, this is where I did a search for, it was live.com, which is one of the Microsoft email providers, or outlook.com. And you can see they've got three different things you can use here: IMAP, POP, and SMTP. You want the SMTP. I'm not quite sure if the POP or IMAP will even work. You can try it. If it doesn't work, then try the SMTP. And you can see here is the server name, smtp.mail.outlook.com. If we pull this down, you can see that's what I have here, since this is a live.com email address. And then the port is 587 right there. So you enter that. And this says the encryption method is start TLS. Well, that's not SSL. So I would not check this box. If it said SSL, then I would have to check this box. Just give me a couple others. Here's Gmail. Okay, I can't get those settings from popping up. That's the SMTP server right there, gmail.com. And it does have TSL and SSL. So you probably go ahead and use the SSL, but if you do, you can see here you want to use port 465. You can try that. If for some reason it doesn't work, then try the 587 and uncheck the SSL. And that would be for Gmail. Now, a couple caveats here. Gmail does offer a two-method authentication. Now, if you're using something like that, then this will not work. What I suggest you do is set up another email account. For example, if your business uses Gmail and they don't want you turning off that two-factor authentication, then just set up another generic type email that you can use just to send emails for your estimates. Now, when you do that, keep in mind too that when you send these estimates, they will not show up in your business email account. You'll have to go to this generic account to make sure the emails were sent. Another thing you need to do is when you set up, if you do only have single-factor authentication, you need to go into your Gmail account. And you would go into, like, this would be your Gmail account here. Go over to this little icon where it says Google account. When you click on it, you'll see this manage your Google account. So when I click on that, it opens up this form, and you need to go under security. And then scroll down to where you see this less secure app access. Now right now it's turned on. Now typically when you first go in, unless you've turned this on for other things, this will be turned off. So I'll go and turn it off right now. Go back over here, less secure apps. You can see it's marked as off. This does have to be turned on. And this means you're going to allow less secure apps access to your email account. So that could be another factor right there why your company may not want you to use your company account, is if they don't want you to turn that on, then you'll have to set up a generic account again and then go in and turn this on. But either way, you'll have to turn this on. Otherwise, when you try to send an email from a Gmail account and this is turned off, they will not send. So click on that. We'll come over here, check that, and it turns it on. And you can verify if you go back down, it says on. Okay, so that takes care of your Google account. This would be for like AOL, if you're using an AOL account. That's smtp.aol.com, port 465. Again, they do have SSL, so you would go ahead and check that box for SSL right here. All right, so once you have your information set for whatever email provider you're using, next thing you're going to do is you'll need to save this user, so this information is saved to the database. Now, after it's saved, the next thing you'll need to do is come up here, whether you do it or your administrator does it, you'll need to log off by clicking up here. It just says to verify that you want to log this off, make sure any data is saved that you're working on. We'll say yes, and then just log back in. And by logging in, with the Portal Pro now has that data for your email server, has access to it. All right, so now we're ready to email out estimates. So I'm going to do a search on some estimates, and we'll use this one here. Actually, that's not the one I want. I believe it might be this one. No? Okay, so first thing I do, there's no email address for this customer. I'm going to go ahead and remove this guy. We're going to go ahead and use this estimate anyway. And I'm going to add the customers back. So I'll select the contact. You want to make sure there's an email address plugged in here. We'll click Add to List. I'll add another customer. No contact, so I'll just type in contact name, Robert Jones. And that will be some email@gmail.com. Okay, so let's say I've got these two in here, but what I want to do is I want to test this first to make sure my email is going to work. And the way to do that is you can select a customer, and this time you'll just email this to yourself. I'll just put my name here, and then I'll put the same email address that I did under the administration right here. I'll use this email address here, and I'm going to add that to the list. So now I have a third customer bidding this estimate, but this time it's going to use my email address so that I can test this. It'll send an email to me. All right, now you can see we have a couple things here. Right there it tells us that no emails have been sent for any of these customers. In this PDF location, this column is blank also. We need to generate the estimate first, and that's a PDF file for each one of these customers before we can email them out. So what we're going to do is come down here, and you can either generate the estimate and print it, or generate the estimate and don't print. So I'm going to leave it here checked because I don't really want to print it out right now. Now this is going to generate a PDF file for every one of these customers. And if I ever need to go back and print them out, I can go back to the folder that's going to save them in and manually print them out there. But if you need a copy now, go ahead and check this box and then click Generate Estimate. So we'll go ahead and click this, and it's generating a PDF file right now for all 3 of these customers. And it tells me right here that it's been saved into this folder, the Documents folder, Portal Pro Estimates, into that folder right there. And it's going to open up the last estimate that was generated. So I'll say OK. And this is what the last one looks like. If you want to look at it, make sure it's good. So we'll just close it. And now you can see we have this PDF location filled in. That means we can now send an email. So I'm going to put my email address, password, and you will have to enter this password each time you come in here to do this, because we do not save your email password anywhere. That's for your security for your email address. And I can have an option to email all customers, which means it will send an email to all 3 of these customers. Or I can email a specific customer only. So I'm going to choose that. I'm going to choose this guy down here because that's the one I'm using. I'm going to send it directly to myself. And that way I can make sure. Okay, now here's where I'm going to type what I want to say in the body of the email. So I'll just say something like, you can type anything you want. And let's see, if you have any questions, please email. Okay, so once I have all this entered, now I can go ahead and click Email Estimate. And what it's doing now is once that's done, it says completed. I'll say OK. And then in just a minute or 2, I should see an email pop up that has this estimate in it. And you can also check your email account under the Sent Items folder to see what emails have been sent. Okay, so there we have an email came in. So you can see that's the email right here. It has the PDF file attached. So open up, take a look. There's the email. And that's the body of the email there. And that's what it takes to email estimates out. So again, keep in mind, this may not work with all email providers. So give it a shot, try some of the different values. But again, each time you make any changes to this, to your username here, after you save it, make sure you log off and log back on and to get the new changes for this information here. So if you have any issues getting us to work, let us know and we'll be more than happy to work with you, see if we can get it turned on. But again, it may not work with all providers, but it should work for most of the major providers. All right, that should do it. If you have any questions on this, please call or email. We'll be more than happy to help you out. Thanks.